These games are so mean, even Hulk has been known to rage quit. Some will make you laugh, and some will make you cry, and some will make you consider hurling your dice or your mates out of the window. Right, let's get going. And just remember, I'm not responsible for any divorces after you watch this video. Hulk, smash! And like that subscribe button. I am cheese on toast. It's cringe. It's cringe. Oh my god, I'm cringe. Future Steve here. So originally I had a different number 10, but we just played a brand new game that arrived called Yakuza. Yakuza is an auction game in which you're trying to get all of your stalls out first. On your turn, you're going to be bidding to try and take control of different spots on the board. If you get the correct spots, then you can build one of your stalls. The first person to get all of their stalls out and the golden one wins the game. And this is the main reason why this game is so mean, because people know how many stalls you've got left to place. And because of this, everybody's going to be looking at what you've got and how far you are, and then purposely taking those spots that you need. And because it's a race game, it makes it super interactive. You're always looking at what other people have got as well as what you're trying to do at the same time. And it's really tit for tat. People are always taking your spots and you're always taking theirs. And it can be really quite mean. My son actually got quite upset the last time that we played this, and we had to tell him that it's just a game and a bit of fun and not to take it too serious. Because money's tight in this game, it makes the auction really that much more interesting. So it's a really tight auction mechanics with a race, hint of meanness, well deserved of my top 10. Highly, highly suggest this game if you're looking for an auction game that's a little bit different to the rest of the auction games out there. Once again, Rainer Knizia proves he is one of the best board game designers, especially with auction games. Right, with that, we'll go back to past Steve. See you later. Number 9. Power Grid. Power Grid is a Euro auction game in which you build plants to create the best power grid you can. But in this tense game, spaces are not abundant, so make sure you get where you need to go or find yourself trapped. On top of that, you have to manage your money and goods so you can keep growing, and that is a lot easier said than done. You might spend half of this game crunching numbers, but you'll spend the other half fighting your friends to get the best spots on the board. It's really quite easy to ruin somebody's plans or have yours completely spoiled. I've played this several times where people have definitely been in need of butt cream after we've played. The auction's tight, money's hard to come by, and those spots are really contested for. It's such a beautiful game, and when you first look at it, you think, oh, this is just a thinky Euro kind of game, but what it does really, really well is it hides under its layers a level of meanness that comes out when you're playing with the right type of people or the wrong type of people. Number 8. Careless 1303. Careless is a worker placement game, and each round you can move a piece called the Provost, or in my case, what I like to call the Pro Worst, because depending where he ends on the board will cut where the actions that you can take. This game is an absolute classic, and it's also incredibly ruthless. First, by stealing a spot they might want. Secondly, you can steal a building they might want to build, and then on top of that, you can also steal their special powers by taking a favor action, like you needed any more reason to be a jerk. And one of the actions you can take is moving the Pro Worst, and you can really screw over somebody's turn and be super mean by making alliances and grouping up to really screw one of your friends out of a really good turn because they were silly enough to put all of their pieces on the top end of the board without thinking about any consequences. Well, sucks to be you, because you've just got absolutely nothing this round, while me and my mate Jerry have got absolutely everything. Why do I keep making up people's names? Like, I'm coming across like I'm popular. I don't have any friends. It's a great bloody game, but be warned, if you play this the way you should be, it really is mean. And you'll probably get angry when somebody robs you of an action, takes a building you want, takes a spot that you're after, or steals the best special power that you've not even managed to use very much because it's been taken before you've even had the chance to use it. Oh god, this game is enraging. I'm getting angry just thinking about it, and I've not even played it. Number 7, Seasons. Seasons is a dice rolling card game in which you're trying to score as many points as possible by playing cards. A lot of the cards in this game are screw you cards, and it's really easy to mess with another person's plan and put them in a miserable mood for the rest of the day. Drafting dice in this can also be quite mean. You can purposely take the dice that you know that the person is actively looking for just to make them feel a little bit worse about themselves because, hey, it's a mean game, why not ruin their day a little bit more? The cards in this game are not balanced, and some cards are much more powerful than others, and it can be really painful when somebody gets a really good engine and they play that one horrible card which completely destroys your own engine, and you've got to sit there for 15, 20 more minutes as the game goes on knowing that you don't stand a chance of winning. It can be really mean and not a very nice experience. I've played this game a couple of times before where I've gotten so screwed over, I've just wanted to walk away and not play it for a while. If you're looking for another game which isn't as mean but still offers fun, combolicious actions that you can take, I would look at Veil of Eternity. I actually prefer Veil of Eternity because I think it's faster, I think it's cleaner, and I like the way that you draft a little bit more, but it's not half as mean as this one. Number 6, Azul. Now, straight out of the gate, this one comes at an asterisk. I think this game is mean, but it's only mean at 2 players. But because it's so mean at 2, I feel like I have to put this one on the list. It's an abstract game in which you're completing patterns to score points at the end of the round. The problem with this one is people are always stealing the stuff that you want. And by people, I mean my wife. She always takes the colour that I'm after, and then I'm like, Sophie, I was going to try and take that colour the whole time, and she's like, oh, I wasn't looking at what you were doing, and I'm like, yeah, you were looking, you did that because you're mean. And at the end of the round, if you don't have space to put your tiles on, they go on the bottom row, and you score negative. And this is the second reason why the game's proper mean, because you can really math that out and be like, if I take these 2 sets of colours on my next 2 turns, that means my opponent is forced to take this, and they're going to have to take 4 tokens, and they're going to have to put it on their bottom row and score like minus 10 points, which is a crippling amount of negative points to score, and it never feels good when you've got to take your track at the end of the round and put it all the way back after you've just scored for the round. It just feels so awful, and you just want to shout at the person for being like, thank you so much for making me take that stuff. I didn't need to do that, and you could have used those colours easily. That was mean. You're a big old meanie. It's mean. Number 5, Royals. Royals is an area control game in which you're trying to vie control of different parts of Europe. What starts as a pleasant game soon turns into a murder fest of killing off your enemy's pieces to take control of the region. I've had my feelings hurt in this game more than I care to admit. Spending a whole round trying to get control of an area for person after person to kill one of your pieces on each of their turns makes your tummy turn. Again though, but this is part of the reason of what makes this game so fun. It's so highly interactive. One minute you're controlling all of France, the next minute you don't own any of it at all, so then you start going to Spain, and then 3 turns later, half of your pieces from Spain have been murdered as well. Just be warned, it can and will probably hurt your feelings. Number 4, Arboretum. The theme on this one is an absolute lie. It's all about making sets of trees and trying to take a nice walk to score points. But no, it's not. It's a game where people are constantly taking things that you're after, and you just have to sit there and accept it. Also, at the end of the game, you score the trees if you have the highest amount in your hand. So the whole time, you're building your beautiful trees, you've got your lovely oak set up, you're going for a nice little wander, you can see the sun in the background, everything's beautiful, you're having the best day, only for you to score 0 points because the person sat next to you has the high value card you've been looking for the whole game. God damn it, this game can be infuriating, but in the best way. And I also love just how beautiful and calming the theme is with the trees for it only to be a proper little nasty game. Number 3, Survive, Escape from Atlantis. I mean, I don't really need to say much about this game. This game is built around screwing your friends over as best as you can. You're trying to get off an island and it's surrounded by krakens, sharks and whales. So good luck with that. And each turn, you're going to roll a dice, and depending on what symbol comes on, you're going to move one of those 3 creatures that I just mentioned to destroy your friends in the most vicious way possible. So literally, a third of the game's turn structure is, oh, who can I screw over the most this turn? I love it. It's so deliciously evil, and it makes you feel unhinged in the best possible type of way. Number 2, Nova Era. You know, every time I hear Era, I can't help but go, error. Nova Era is the newest game on my list and one of the meanest of them all. Not only does this game screw you over, but every other player is trying to screw you over at the same time as well. What looks like an innocent civilization game is actually filled with pain and destruction. On its front, you're drafting dice to build cards to build your civilization to score points. But it has so much destruction and pain that nothing will be yours for long. In later era, new cards come out which make old cards obsolete. So many cards do this that you will lose cards every single game. On top of that, you have to deal with take that cards and disasters. God, it's awful, but if you can stomach it, it's actually really fascinating. Just don't fall in love with your board, because before you know it, it's going to be sending you a Dear John letter as you sit in the corner crying, trying to remember board games are supposed to be fun. Believe it or not, I actually really enjoy this game, and if you're a masochist like me, I think you'll enjoy it too. Number 1, the estates. The meanest of mean auction games. You're taking control of companies, trying to build buildings and complete rows to score points. But let's get this straight. I am almost certain there is not a single action in this game which isn't going to screw somebody over. Every piece is up for auction whether you control a company or not. This means you can buy anybody's piece and screw them out of scoring. You can do other horrible things, like extending a row, making it impossible for them to be able to build and complete it, or even double points in one of the rows. You score positive points if the row is completed, but you score negative points if it's not. So that beautiful 25-point endgame scoring that you had almost certainly had got, all of a sudden becomes minus 50 because the last 2 rounds, 2 of your friends have extended the row, making it impossible to complete and doubled the points there. Oh, this is easily one of my favourite auction games ever. It's just so fun and mean. If you don't buy a colour that hasn't been taken yet, you never take control of a company, meaning you can spend the whole game trying to screw everybody else out of scoring points, as you slyly tuck away $1 million every single turn, which is worth a single point. And because the game is a closed economy, you are making everything tighter and tighter at the same time. It's such a good design. This game is magnificent. Just be warned, not only will you be ruining people's turns, you'll probably be ending friendships with them as well. This game is so bad, the last time I played it with my extended family, they got so angry, we just can't play it anymore. It's brilliant. And this is, for me, the funnest list that I've made yet. It's so fun to think about how games are totally different from each other. Even though my favourite types of games tend to be dry Euros, I really do like a mean game, because to be mean means that there has to be some form of interaction. It's so nice to have everybody sat around at a table, no mobile phones, everybody's doing the same thing, all laughing, having a good time. Oh, it's just my absolute favourite thing in the whole entire world to do. Hulk says bye. I think this might be my cringiest episode yet.